Hi there, my name is Lo. Welcome to my channel where I discuss everything between Hermes and grocery bags. So here we are already. It is time for the last video of the year. As I'm filming this, it's the day before Christmas. As you can tell by my nails, I am completely in the spirits. As you can tell by my outfit, not so much. It is literally not even 4 o'clock and it's just so gloomy outside that I cannot really film without a lamp on today. But that's fine because I'm not going to show a lot of bags in person here today. But I will be showing you a lot of eye candy on the screen. For the last video of the year, I want to do a tag video. I was tagged the other day by India from Bags and Lifestyle to talk about the bags I would want to steal from other content creators here on YouTube. And if you've been following me a little bit longer, you know that I like to do tag videos, but I also tend to give a little bit of a twist to the topic. So I wanted to abuse today's tag to give a shout out to the content creators that have been so supportive to my own channel this year, and to take the opportunity of the amazing bags that they have in their collection. And of course, I also appreciate the support of all of my subscribers who are not creators themselves. I've really come to the conclusion over the past year that I started doing YouTube just to give information about handbags that I have in my collection. But what keeps me going now is having this community and being able to interact with everybody and share a love for handbags and other luxury items. So thanks everybody so much for the support, and I just hope to keep my channel growing in 2024. Moving on with the tag. So bags I would steal from other YouTubers. I know that stealing has obviously a negative connotation, so I know that sometimes people do this video and then they call it bags I would borrow from the other YouTubers. I actually am going to do a combination, so I will tell you for different content creators which bag I would like to borrow from them and with the reason that they could have it back. And then I will also point out a bag that I will happily absorb into my own collection. By the way, from the top of my head, I don't actually know who came up with this tag, but they will definitely be linked down below if I figure it out. So I'm going to have to start with India from Bags and Lifestyle because she tagged me. I really adore India's collection. She also has an amazing eye for bags that are either vintage or pre-loved. So the bag I would like to borrow from her is her Delvaux backpack. I would really like to get a vintage item from Delvaux at some point in time. I would really like to borrow that backpack to see if it lives up to my expectations. The bag I would happily absorb into my collection today is her Fendi Peekaboo. It is really beautiful in terms of color, and I would really still like to get a Fendi Peekaboo someday. Moving on to a completely different content creator, namely Chris. Super nice guy. Not as active on YouTube, he basically just posts whenever he feels like it, but he's pretty active on Instagram. Chris also really knows a lot about buying vintage items. The bag I would borrow from Chris is actually also a Fendi Peekaboo. His Fendi Peekaboo is made out of skunk, which I think is one of the most interesting bags I've ever seen. So why would I borrow it instead of keep it? I think this bag is so much like Chris that I would feel really bad taking it from him. What I would steal is his Ralph Lauren tote. The exact model is the Devon. It is a denim tote. I've been looking to get a denim bag for the longest time. This bag is still somewhere on my radar. If I can get it for a good price, it's definitely one that could scratch my itch for a denim bag. Moving on to Beauty Lux Lover. Also great, very active content creator. Her channel has seen some really rapid growth. That's not surprising with the great content that she makes and the amazing collection that she has. She has a really nice collection of Hermes bags, and the bag I would like to borrow from that is her Birkin 25. Again, you might wonder, why would you not take that bag? I've said before, I think Hermes bags are really beautiful. However, I also know that if I would have that bag in my collection, it would basically end up sitting on the shelf because I wouldn't be very comfortable walking around with a Birkin. I would love to have an opportunity to just hold it in my hands and wear it out for a day and enjoy it, but I wouldn't be doing it any justice in the long run. So perhaps surprisingly, the bag that I would like to have from her collection is her Nagady St. Bart's tote. It's one of those bags that got away from me. You can only pretty much get it in North America. I tried to get one when I was in San Francisco, but they didn't really have it in the color combination that I wanted. She has one, which I thought was really, really cool. Then next is Contemporary Girl. What I really like about her collection is that All of her bags are black. Like, I don't think I've ever seen an exception on her channel. She knows what she likes and she sticks with that. The bag I would borrow from her is her self-portrait rhinestone micro bow bag. I think this would be a super nice bag to bring to a party, but otherwise I would get too little use out of it. The bag that I would like to take from her collection, however, is her Vivienne Westwood Jasmine bag. I think this is a really cute bag with the Vivienne Westwood emblem on the front. I think it's very classic, but it's also very Vivienne Westwood, and I kind of like that. And then my friend from Singapore, Karin, also has an amazing collection of classics from Hermes and from Chanel and LV. The bag I would like to borrow from her is her black Chanel 19 bag. I think it's an absolutely gorgeous bag, but I wouldn't really feel super comfortable wearing it because of the very soft leather that it has, so would definitely like to take it for a spin one day, but then also bring it back. The bag that I'd like to take from her collection, however, is her Loewe Hobo Puzzle bag. I can't recall the exact color name, but it's sort of an olive green type of color. The Hobo Puzzle bag also feels like one of those bags that kind of got away from me, and I'm pretty sure right now that's not going to be part of my collection just because the price point on Loewe has gone up quite a bit. The discounts on their bags are not as good as they used to be, but if Karin would hand it over to me, I would happily take it from her. Next up is Deandra. What I really like about Deandra's channel, except from just Deandra herself, is that Deandra doesn't get swept away by things that are very popular. She will go out and find high quality alternatives, and she's done some really great content on buying this instead of that. She also has some really interesting bags in her collection, so I was doubting a little bit which bag I would want to borrow from her. Eventually I decided to go with her Rebecca Minkoff Love crossbody bag. It is kind of a dupe of the Chanel boy bag. Again, like I was saying, she knows where to find good alternatives for very popular items. She really loves it, and I would love to borrow it to see if I love it just as much as she does. The bag I would immediately take from her collection is her Aspinall of London Lottie pillow clutch. As you saw in the past couple of videos, I have the regular Lottie now. I think the Lottie pillow clutch would be a great addition to my collection as well. However, I'm probably not going to be ordering with Aspinall anymore for a bit. So if Deandra's Lottie pillow clutch could just magically appear in my room, then I also don't have to deal with UPS and customer service of Aspinall. Then next up is Denny. Denny also has a wonderful collection, and I have to say that Denny really does the best review videos. The bag I would like to borrow from her is her Coach Cassie, just because she loves that bag so much. For some reason I cannot really get on board all the way with the aesthetics, but it does sound like it's such a practical bag that I kind of want to try it out. The bag I would steal from her is her Chanel Classic Flap. I think it's so special. This Bordeaux color is not something that I see every day on YouTube. I think it's an absolute stunner, and I would be very happy to have a piece like that in my collection. Then Alana, content creator with a very cool collection. I think she has a very interesting mix of classics, but then also bags that you don't really see every day. The bag I would borrow from her is her Jacquemus Le Bambino. It is in a light blue suede. I have to give all of my respect keeping that bag clean, which is exactly the reason why I would borrow it and not have it. There's really no way that I would be able to keep a light blue suede bag clean for, well, more than a day. A bag that I could definitely have in my collection is her YSL Sunset bag, also because it is in mock rock. I've always liked the aesthetic of the YSL Sunset bag, and I've been living my best mock rock life, so that bag would definitely be welcome in my collection. Next up, I wanted to talk about Melissa from Melissa's Corner. I think Melissa is sort of my sister in the English bag brands. I think both of us have a fairly extensive collection in terms of Stradbary, Aspinall, Demilier. Melissa tends to go with a bit more color than I do. Whenever I see her with a bag, doesn't matter if it's green, if it's yellow, if it's blue, if it's pink, it always just looks amazing on her. So I would definitely be happy to borrow one of her colorful bags. I think my choice would go to one of her Dunionberg small Barlow bags. I'm thinking the yellow one. I think that could be super cute for spring or summer with a nice flowy dress. But that type of color is definitely just not one I would reach for every day. The bag I would want to steal from Melissa is her Demilier Montreal bag in the midi size. I bought the mini at some point in time. I was kind of disappointed with the quality on that, but everybody's been telling me that their midi is awesome, so perhaps I should have just sized up. I never really stumbled on a midi for a good price, so yeah, I'm afraid I'm just going to have to take that one from Melissa. Then I'm gonna move on to Veronica. Veronica is very much about getting bang for your buck and buying things at discount, so I can definitely relate to that. She also has a very cool style, very edgy, and one of her favorite brands is actually Prensa Schöller. And I think it's really cool because that's not the type of brand you hear people talking about on the internet, even though the quality is apparently really there. So the bag I would borrow from her, I'm gonna call it her Prensa watermelon bag. I will have to look up what the actual name is of that bag, but it's one of Prensa's totes. Really cool bag. I can think of a couple of outfits to pair it with, but it's probably not a bag I would reach for each and every single day. The bag I would like to take, however, is her PS1, the one in the smaller size. I think the bag is really cool and it is a black bag. Fits into my collection perfectly and I can go with something a little bit more edgy. Then I want to talk about Jazz. She hasn't really put out a lot of content over the past year, but I do have to say that the videos that she already has are really nice, some really great reviews. She also has a beautiful collection and she's just the sweetest thing. So the bag I would want to take from her is her Givenchy Antigona in the small size. So finally you can see why I brought this bag, because I have the Antigona in the mini size. I have been doubting sometimes whether I should get the small size, but the mini already holds quite a lot. I've just been kind of scared that the small would already be too big, so I would kind of like to borrow that bag for a couple of days to see if it is a reasonable size, because bags that are too big but that don't fit a laptop, I know those are bags that I generally don't reach for all that much. The bag that I would happily take off her hands is her Ferragamo studio bag. That is just one that's still heavily on my radar. I've just been trying to get it at a really good price. I feel in my heart that that should be possible. It's just such an amazing bag, and right now it's at the top of my wish list, so if she would hand it over to me, I would happily accept. And then I've come to the end of my list, but I'm not going to finish off without mentioning one very special content creator who is highly appreciated. I think not only by myself, but by a lot of people in this community. And that is, of course, Didi Bean. She really is such a sweetheart. The other day I saw that I was really close to having 700 subscribers, and if you guys have been with me for a while, you know that I generally don't really ask for likes and subscribes. I mean, to each their own. I know it's a horrible strategy for growing your channel, but it's just not something that I like asking for. However, I was really close to 700, so I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna throw out a post on Instagram saying all I want for Christmas is 700 subscribers. And Didi like jumped on it and shared my post and put it on Instagram and put it on her YouTube community page. And then her subscribers also subscribed to my channel, and as it was progressing, she kept me up to date on Instagram, like, oh, you're getting really close, oh, look at this person also subscribed. And it was just the sweetest, most heartwarming thing. I think we can only be very, very grateful to have somebody like that in our community. So thanks, Didi. Thank you so much. And also thanks, Didi subscribers, for subscribing to my channel. I hope I can live up to your expectations a little bit. So Didi has also an amazing collection. What is also really cool about her collection is that she gets a lot of bags from Goodwill or thrifted or places like that. Not too long ago she unboxed this vintage Denny & Burke bag, and that's definitely a bag that I would like to borrow from her. I think it might be a little bit too edgy to keep for me, but I could definitely style it with some cool outfits, and I do think it's a very special bag. She always manages to find the best deals for these very, very special items. The bag I would take from her is her Denny & Burke medium caramel satchel. I think it's really cool how this bag sort of slouches and the zipper folds over. This bag almost has like a smile with teeth, if you could put it like that. I think it's really nice, and I would love to have a piece from Denny & Burke, but they're just kind of hard to come by outside of North America. So it's not a brand that I've acquired any bags from thus far. So we've made it to the end of the list. Thanks again to everybody, all the content creators, all of the subscribers for making this an amazing year for me on YouTube. I'm very much looking forward to continuing in the new year. Let me know down below in the comments which bags you would like to steal, perhaps from me or from other content creators. Of course, everybody that I mentioned will be down below. If you haven't done this tag video yet and you would like to do it, obviously just go for it. I will keep on tagging everybody in the new year until people tell me that they're getting fed up with me. That is it for now. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope perhaps that you got some inspiration from all of these gorgeous bags that I showed you. And remember, there's a styling, a situation and a taste for everything, so don't judge. Wear whatever the bag you like. Until next time, and to close off today, I'm gonna say Happy New Year or Gelukkig Nieuwjaar.